For more than 15 years, the Tomb Raider franchise has delighted gaming audiences with its superb level design and action-driven storylines, helmed by its iconic main character, Lara Croft. So when it was announced that Crystal Dynamics was developing a new Tomb Raider game, we couldn't help but get excited. But why exactly has Tomb Raider been topping reviewers' lists as one of the most anticipated games of 2013? Well, I'm here to answer that. So without further ado, I give you the top 15 reasons Tomb Raider rocks. Coming in at number 15 is a return to the franchise that gamers know and love. Now, it's hard to believe that it's been more than 5 years since the last Tomb Raider game. That is, unless you count the Xbox Live Arcade game, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. It's even harder to believe that the first Tomb Raider game was released all the way back in 1996, for those of us old enough to remember. Bottom line, this is a Tomb Raider game that fans can get excited about, a top-down reimagining of the franchise with a new actress taking the helm of our heroine Lara Croft, one British actress Camilla Luddington, which is really only icing on the cake. Coming in at number 14 is the writing. Putting aside the main storyline for a moment, one of the things that the developers wanted to showcase to the player was Lara Croft's journey from an innocent young girl to a hardened survivor. Not exactly an easy task. Fortunately, the writers at Crystal Dynamics have been working hard to bring Lara's story to life. Not only is this retelling a much darker story, but an emotional one as well. Long gone are the days of our fearless heroine entering tomb after tomb in search of priceless artifacts. As far as character development is concerned, Lara is a blank slate, with the events to come shaping her into the character that we all know and love. And without a solid script behind it, Tomb Raider would simply fail to hit that emotional chord with players. Thankfully, though, that doesn't seem to be the case with this game. Coming in at number 12 is tone. Now, there are going to be the comparisons between Tomb Raider and the Uncharted series. I mean, the similarities are just too obvious to deny. But the tones of these two titles are drastically different. I've often heard people describe the Uncharted series as having a very cinematic feel, with a constant flow of action throughout. But the developers are also trying to create a much more character-driven story that attempts to connect players with the emotional and physical pain that Lara experiences. But one thing's for certain, it's clear that this new direction is going to render some interesting results, hopefully for the better. Coming in at number 12 is the downloadable content. Now, it has been confirmed by Crystal Dynamics that the company will release 2 DLC packages shortly after the game's release. The first one, titled The Challenge Tomb, is a new level where Lara encounters new puzzles that will test her skills and abilities. However, the second DLC pack, entitled The Endurance, has yet to be announced, as this video is being made several weeks before the game's release. While certainly not the cornerstone of any blockbuster game, the DLC that will be made available will surely be appreciated by fans. Coming in at number 11 is the controversy surrounding Tomb Raider. During an interview with Kotaku, executive producer Ron Rosenberg stated that during the game, Lara is taken prisoner by a bunch of scavengers. They try to rape her. She's literally turned into a cornered animal, and that's a huge step in her evolution. The game's designer Daryl Gallagher later denied the attempted rape suggestions, stating that sexual assault of any kind is categorically not a theme during any of the game. Now, at first blush, this might come off as a bad thing, but truthfully, I think anything that gets people talking can only work to the game's favor, especially if it's done prior to the game's release, at least from a marketing standpoint. Coming in at number 10 is the fact that Tomb Raider is not just an origin story, but a reboot of the entire franchise. Now, since 1996, there have been 9 games created for the Tomb Raider franchise, and I think it's safe to say that over the years, as more games were being made, popularity for the series waned, unable to capture the magic that those first games brought to the table. Tomb Raider hopes to change all that by bringing back those that loved the series from all the way back in the day, but also attracting newcomers to the series as well. And with a darker storyline, action-driven gameplay, and stunning graphics to boot, the 2013 reboot is much more than an addition to the series. Coming in at number 9 is the music. Now, the score for the game is being helmed by Jason Graves, whose more than 20-year career in the gaming industry has encompassed such classics as the Dead Space series, Fear 3, and Star Trek Legacy. As described in one of the developer diaries for this game, one of the big challenges of composing the score was balancing these sweeping orchestral scores with the action that takes place on screen. As a result, the music is underpinned by a lot of fear, stress, and tension, along with the familiar themes that gamers come to expect. While a lot of gamers take audio for granted, I highly recommend that you play this with a stunning pair of noise-canceling headphones to ensure the best gaming experience possible. Coming in at number 8 is the brilliant motion capture for the game. In order to give Lara Croft a true sense of realism, her actions and movements were captured at Digital Domain Studios in Los Angeles, California. Indeed, Crystal Dynamics spared no expense in bringing their iconic character to life, not just in the way she moves, but also in how she reacts emotionally to any given situation. And this shows in the final product, and the fact that it's some of the best motion capture in a video game to date only adds to the authenticity of Tomb Raider. Coming in at number 7 are the Collector's Editions. Now, there are a couple of Collector's Editions for Tomb Raider, and the incentives offered are on par with some of the major blockbuster games released earlier last year, like Assassin's Creed 3 and Hitman Absolution. The Survival Edition includes a CD soundtrack, 3 iron-on badges for the game, a code for the weapon pack, a double-sided map of the island in the game, and a lithograph, at least for those who purchase it in North America. So if you consider yourself a die-hard Tomb Raider fan, be sure to check out the Survival Edition for yourself. Coming in at number 6 is gear gating. Now, there's no shortage of weapons to choose from in Tomb Raider, but with ammo at a premium, Lara will have to use her resourcefulness as well as her survival skills in order to stay alive. At the heart of this mechanic is gear gating, or the ability to upgrade weapons as well as skills. Many of the weapons in Tomb Raider have various uses. While the pickaxe can be used as a weapon, it can be also used to pry open crates as well as scale steep cliffs. Her trademark bow and arrow can be used to hunt, but it can also be used as a bow rope to create zip lines, as well as interact with the environment around her. While the varied arsenal of Tomb Raider is impressive, it's their multiple uses that really set this game over the top. Coming in at number 5 is the story. Our journey begins with a 21-year-old Lara Croft as the ship she's traveling on, the Endurance, hits a violent storm and crashes into one of the islands in the Dragon's Triangle. Along with her shipmates, Lara must survive the island's harsh conditions as well as its hostile wildlife. In addition, players will have to go up against hardened mercenaries who seek to kill her and her companions if they wish to uncover the secrets the island holds. Now, the developers have been very close-lipped when it comes to spoilers, so I guess you'll just have to play the game in order to experience the story for yourself. Coming in at number 4 is fast travel. Now, fast travel isn't anything new in video games. In fact, some of the most popular games like Fallout 3, Borderlands, and Skyrim have incorporated this mechanic into their gameplay. But fast travel represents something entirely different in Tomb Raider. For starters, we know that the setting for the game, the Dragon's Triangle, is larger than any previous Tomb Raider game. But it's also a lot less linear, and requires players to return to past locations in order to enter previously inaccessible areas. While certainly not a new concept, fast travel in Tomb Raider is a welcome addition that drastically changes how you play the game. Coming in at number 3 is the base camps. Now, a key element to Tomb Raider is the base camp system. They're the backbone of the game, acting as the customization hub that allows players to support and develop the 3 core experiences of the game: exploration, survival combat, and resourcefulness. It is here where players can fast travel, upgrade skills and abilities, and upgrade new weapons to aid you during combat. So be sure to make the most of your stay there during gameplay. Coming in at number 2 is the skill set system. In Tomb Raider, Lara will be required to learn new skills and upgrade weapons if she wishes to uncover the island's mysterious secrets and defeat its dangerous inhabitants. She can earn experience points through actions such as exploring, completing missions, and succeeding during combat. Once Lara has collected enough experience points, she's rewarded with skill points that can be used to unlock new abilities at the various base camps throughout the island. Does this make Tomb Raider more of a role-playing game than an action game? Absolutely not. It only adds to the title's appeal. And coming in at number 1 is the multiplayer. In January 2013, it was announced that Tomb Raider would have multiplayer features, helmed by none other than Canadian video game development studio Eidos Montreal, best known for their game Deus Ex: Human Revolution. According to the developers, there will be 3 multiplayer modes played across 5 different multiplayer maps. Now, what those modes are isn't exactly clear at this point, but it's been confirmed that players will be able to set traps and activate special features depending on which map is chosen, making multiplayer a more than welcome addition to this beloved franchise. Now I want to hear what you have to say. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree with it? Is there a reason that you want to play Tomb Raider that I may have forgotten? Or do you even want to play Tomb Raider at all? Feel free to post a comment in the comment section below, and as always, feel free to subscribe to my channel or rate this video. That being said, I'm the Millennium Gamer, signing off.